Welcome back. It's time for the headlines with Amarachi Obani.
Thanks a lot, Chamberlain. Here are the stories we're tracking this hour. Where campaigns have entered top gear here in Nigeria. President Goodluck Jonathan was in the Ondo State capital, Akure, where he spoke to the people about some of his plans for re-elections. He mentioned improvements in education, ICT development, as well as more opportunities for women in governance if re-elected. Also, concerns are being raised by the leadership of the National Youth Service Corps about the safety of corps members employed as ad hoc staff during the 2015 elections. During a meeting today with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Tahiru Jega, those assigned responsibility by INEC have been asked that INEC has been asked to guarantee that they will be guaranteed a high level of security during the elections. Also, one frightening scenario in Rivers State today is the increasing spate of political violence in the state. While two political parties continue to trade blames, the police is warning that the force will not tolerate a total breakdown of law and order. The victims of the recent attacks in Okrika and Ikwere in Rivers State are still counting their losses. And on the foreign scene, cross-border violence between Israel and Lebanon has left two soldiers, Israeli soldiers and a Spanish UN peacekeeper, dead. Lebanese militant group Hezbollah has been trading fire since today over what it said was a retaliation for an Israeli airstrike that killed 6 of its fighters and an Iranian Revolutionary Guards general in the Syrian Golan Heights 10 days ago. The peacekeepers were killed close to the disputed Sheba Farms area, where an Israeli convoy was earlier hit by anti-tank missiles, killing 2 soldiers. The Israeli army says it responded to the attacks with combined aerial and ground strikes on Hezbollah operational positions along the border. Although the UN has expressed deep concern over the serious deterioration of security situation there, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is prepared to act powerfully on all fronts. Those are the major headlines. Back to you now, Chamberlain.
Well, thank you, Amara. Well, we're continuing back with the the analysis about the permanent voter cards. I see some people tweeting already. Solid said, hey, hello, I've collected my PVC in Owerri. But Aminu says, this one is to INEC spokesperson. Many are yet to collect their PVCs in Ogun. He says they should do the needful, but we'll come to him in just a moment. Let me continue with Mr. Innocent Chukwuma about the collection of the permanent voter cards. We heard the IPAC, that's the Parties Advisory Council, suggesting a declaration of a public holiday by the federal government to enable people coming. How will this work out? Because some states initially declared holidays for people to go out and collect it. So should they do that again?
Well, there are 2 issues involved here. Firstly is we need to know that all the cards are available so that even if you declare public holiday, that people will go there and get them. I guess the spokesperson of INEC will have to tell us when, because you don't declare public holidays when the cards are still being printed somewhere. So, but when we do know that the cards are here and they are available in all the wards, as we usually do here during registration, some states declare public holiday. It might well be done at state level, because as we speak, some states, over 84%, have already collected. So it may not be a national problem. They may have to declare it at the state level in states where significant percentage of people have not collected. It's not out of place here, although in other parts of the world where you have 24-hour economy and every hour counts, people will frown, especially business leaders will frown at this penchant of declaring public holidays for something people should just pay a few hours of their working hours to go and collect. But here, this is Nigeria.
Demal, what do you think?
Well, it's the most important aspect of it is the fact that the cards are available. I'm really more concerned about the new voters, the new people that are just coming into age to vote, the over 18-year-olds and the people that just moved different locations to their own situation and picking up their own permanent voters card. We noticed that the fall in registration from 73 million last election to 868 now, with INEC saying a big part of it was people that maybe voted twice, or registered twice, so therefore they were removed from the register. I would have thought, even at 68 million that we have eligible to register to vote, there should be a little bit more because of new people coming into age. Nigeria's got a booming population. You know, I'm surprised that it's just 68 million. I would expect at least even the 78 or 75 voters. So that's a big issue. And then secondly, if you're moving from one location to another, believe me, it's quite difficult picking up that voter's card. If you were living in Imo and now you're living in Lagos, you know, you have to go through some sort of, you know, under the hoop and jumping up and down to make sure you get that card. You have to really go out of your way. If you're not passionate about this election, you're not going to do it. You know, I have this friend that just came in from America, and she said she's not going to vote because, you know, it's, you know, she's used to picking up our, you know, our own card from, you know, our voters registration online and all this sort of so convenient for her. Well, this is, you know, this is a developing country. It's not that easy, and plus we have a history of vote malpractice. So some people just will not pick up the card. And if you're very passionate, if you want to vote and you want to make a difference in an election in Nigeria, you will get this card. I go to local governments in Lagos State, and I've been to areas in Abuja where people have been lining up to pick up their cards, regardless of the difficulty there. So a lot of it is also voter apathy. A lot of it is also the convenience of it, you know, from INEC making it quite challenging to pick up cards. So these are areas that people would, you know, want to say, well, is it worth it? And I think they should also look at the fact that new voters, how motivated are they to pick up, go and register? You know, new people are coming into voting age, and they're wondering, is this really what is worth it? Would it make a difference?
Let me get Mr. Idowu's view on this. Mr. Idowu, the CVR, continuous voter registration. I mean, what is the situation with that? Because people turn 18 every day. So are we going to, is the Commission taking into cognizance those who will come forward and get registered, or are you putting a hold on fresh registrations until these elections are over and done with?
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Again, we have to look at what the law provides for. The law expressly stipulates when INEC must stop updating the register, and the law also prescribes a time when INEC must publish the register that will be used for an election. The law says that the updating of the register must stop not later than 30 days before an election. Incidentally, the law says the register must also be published not later than 30 days before the election. Now, for any of those provisions that you take, the implication is that for all intents and purposes, everything that has to do with registration, transfer of voter, and stuff has stopped, because we're less than 30 days to elections.
We have this question that come up every now and then about people moving location. I mean, my panelists mentioned it briefly. It comes from Austin. Austin says, I have my voter card, but I have moved to another location as a result of my job. Will I be allowed to vote in my new area?
No. You see, the point again has to do with the law. Most of these things are not INEC's core. INEC operates within the provisions of the law. The law as we have it today expressly prohibits electronic voting. INEC has recommended an amendment of that clause, but we do not have that amendment as yet. Now, the law prohibits electronic voting, and the law also prescribes domiciliary voting, if you like, in a way of speaking. In other words, you have to